It's a situation when you are told that you always think it is never going to happen to you because, you know, you're living your day-to-day life, doing your day-to-day things, you're in a routine, but it does happen to you. And then you join a club that nobody wants to join.
My name's Darcy, I'm 12 years old, and my dad died of pancreatic cancer.
My name's Sophia, and I have a daughter called Ava, and her daddy, my husband Mark, died of lymphoma.
My name's Connie, I'm 10 years old, and my dad died of pancreatic cancer.
I'm Kirsty, I'm 33, mum to Finley, who's 7, and I'm married to Scott. My current diagnosis is secondary breast cancer. With treatment, I'd probably be looking at 1 to 2 years life expectancy. I've already hit 13 months since my diagnosis, so the clock's ticking away.
I think his words were, "Don't cry in front of the girls," which I don't think when he told me I'd realised the seriousness of pancreatic cancer. It just came to the fact where you couldn't hide it anymore. That's when it was really the ideal time to tell them that Daddy was very poorly.
Certain changes like became skinnier and he wasn't speaking, eating or drinking. So then we went to see him and then 2 or 3 days after he died.
It didn't seem real at the time. I was angry and sad because I was just upset, like, why did it happen to me and stuff.
It's acceptance, and I don't know when that will come. It hasn't come with the girls at the moment. It's still, wow, has that happened to us?
When we found out about Mark's diagnosis, it's actually taken quite a while to get to that point, and we'd run through all sorts of things with the doctors, thinking what it was, and then when they finally said it was cancer, you just think, oh my God, you know, you just think the worst automatically. He was a young man, you know, he was just 41. He was told it was terminal very quickly and that they couldn't actually do any more for him. So we had to access Beechwood again, and they were brilliant. They just let us back in. Mark didn't want to come this time, which is fair enough. You know, it was hard for him. But he knew I had to go with Ava and try and explain to her that her dad was going to die. He'd always said that if the treatment was going to interfere with his quality of life, he'd prefer to spend with his family. And he, you know, he kept apologising to Ava that he wasn't going to be there for her. And it was so hard. His family and my family would take Ava out for, you know, to the park or whatever. My parents had taken her out, and I had to call them and say, you know, he's died. You need to bring Ava home. Because we took a lot of advice from here. One of the pieces of advice was, if you can get it to say goodbye to her dad. You know, so she was very brave, and she went up and kissed him goodbye. And then friends whisked her off, who lived just down the road, while we all did our goodbyes.
As a parent, a person dealing with your diagnosis is a lot to take in. It was for me and Scott. And then you start to think about how you're going to tell your 7-year-old. And as his mum, I'm the one who kisses him better when he's not well. I protect him. And ultimately, I'll be the one who hurts him the most when the time comes, and I won't be here when he needs me the most. So the best I can do to protect him is to make sure he's got the best support network here for him to help him and Scott through. And that's what we're building with Beechwood. And that's what I can leave as a legacy as his mum, is to know that he's being looked after.
My family and I started using Beechwood from 2011. I wanted somewhere that I could come with my daughter and my husband, and we could talk about the impacts that were going to happen to the family because of Mark's illness. There's nothing like this in this Manchester area. Even though this might not be happening to you, and I really hope it doesn't, please give money to Beechwood, because I never thought I'd be in this position. Luckily, people did donate, and we were able to benefit from the counselling and services that were offered here.
It sounds so cliche, but you walk in the doors and it's like a family straight away. Everybody's so lovely.
There would have been no help for Darcy and Connie if it hadn't been for the Beechwood.
It's a nice calm place, so you don't need to feel like you can't let your feelings out here.
If you give them money, then it can help people get in here quicker so they're not sat at home really upset.
They're very proud to be part of the Beechwood. They love to fundraise because they do wonderful work here and are always there for you. It is a great place.
I used to go to events and get involved in a lot of fundraising, and I used to sit and think how awful these stories were that you heard, and you never think when you're sat there donating or you're doing your bit that it could ever happen to you. And it did, and it happened to me. If people don't donate to causes like the Beechwood to keep them running, then one day if they needed that resource, it might not be there. As a family, we get so much from Beechwood. And I know they'll continue to be there for Finley and Scott when I'm not. And that can only happen because people donate to keep it going.